right, so welcome to your basic podcasting station setup here. And I'm going to walk you through just a couple of things in a series of videos. The first one is just the physical setup of the podcasting station. So this particular setup, and if we can talk through the big pieces, right? So obviously you have your computer. This is what does the recording of the sound and the editing of the sound. Here we have our sound mixer, and that mixing board is designed to have up to 4 different XLR inputs, plus a 5th input here that is a slightly different input. So ideally you could have between 4 and 5 different people recording, or you could just have one. In this case, you can see we've got 2. Then we have our 2 microphones here. Ready to go, and they're just on these mounts. They can be moved and adjusted any number of ways. The idea is, do you want people talking to each other, so on opposite sides of one another? Do you have 2 different speakers? So you just have to adjust these for the person that you're working with in the project that you're working on. Now, with that said, I just want to go through kind of the basics of how sound travels from the microphone all the way into the computer. So let's start with the basics. When you come to the microphone, there is an off and on switch, and you'll definitely want to make sure you're in the on position, okay? What's gonna happen with that off and on switch is when the sound comes in to the microphone here, this is just an extra filter and you can get it out of your way if you'd like to, but when the sound comes through, it comes down the cable. It follows all the way back to our mixing board. I'm going to get this out of the way. Our mixing board here. Now you can see I have tape placed here. So number 1 goes in parallel to the tape that's on the microphone. So microphone 1 goes to microphone 1, microphone 2 goes to microphone 2. You can change these, but you'll always want to label them. What happens then is the sound comes into the board, and we'll go through the board in a separate video, over here to our sound output, where it will follow this line all the way back into the back of the computer, and it comes into GarageBand. We use GarageBand for most of our recording here. And then you can see that sound is outputted. I'm aware that it's being outputted because I have these green lines here that tell me that sound is coming in. So while there's more to the setup than that, when you get into like how the software works and all the buttons, if you can do that and trace those 2 things, that'll solve a lot of your headaches when you're first setting up or trying to reconstruct a soundboard that maybe was taken apart. Those are your key pieces.